Recording started.
Well, I'd like to welcome everybody onto tonight's call. This is the UK conference call. My name is Jason Gregory, and I will be your host for tonight. This is a training call that we have every week for people who have decided to build their financial futures with Reliv. But it's also a time where we can show new people who are hearing about Reliv for the very first time the reality of what is going on. You know, my wife and myself, we decided to build our Reliv futures over 10 years ago now because of the results that we got on these products as a family. And this is why I'm on the call tonight. My background's in business development in IT. I was in a middle management position. It was paying me a very good income, but it was taking me away from my family. So I've always been the type of person to look outside of my job to develop an income. Well, today I'm able to work from home around my family. I have the privilege of growing an international business while helping people in two areas that they struggle with the most, which is their health and also their finances. And this company has paid us an ever-increasing income, sending us away on international travel as well as national travel, and it just gets better and better and better. And I have to say, this is one of the best professional decisions that I've ever made. So why are you on the call tonight? Or maybe somebody told you about the products and you want to know more. Or maybe you've been told about the business opportunity and you're intrigued. Or maybe you haven't been told that much other than you need to listen in. Well, whatever your reason for being on the call is tonight, you're going to be glad that you did listen in. Because Reliv International is a 27-year-old food science company founded on a food formula developed by a microbiologist who studied the human cell in order to understand what the human body needed to recreate healthy cells, taken over 10 years to develop, and over 850 separate trial formulations, he reached a balance of food which aided his own body to fight back to the extent that he was able to leave a wheelchair that the doctor said he would never be able to come out of. This is the foundation of our company. We also specialize in a field known as nutritional epigenetics, and we are currently the only nutritional epigenetic company on the planet. Epigenetics is really changing the way people look at healthcare, and the results that we're seeing are absolutely outstanding. And this company is driven by a mission to nourish our world, and we're doing that in two areas, and we're equally proud of both of those areas, which is health, but also finances. In addition to that, we have a foundation called the Cloggers Foundation, and we're currently feeding over 42,000 children, or people, mainly children, on a daily basis in over 270 feeding centers spanning over 9 countries. And Reliv is really bringing back hope into people's lives. So what we like to do at the start of every single one of these training calls is really share some of the reality, real people sharing their real stories, what has happened to them. So we're going to share some health stories, and we're also going to share some business stories so everybody can get the full picture. But we're going to start with the health stories first, and I'm going to go over to Milton Keynes, to Linda. Linda, if you'd like to just come on the line and just share with everybody what has happened to you since you've been taking these products, please.
Yes. Can you hear me okay, Jason?
I can, Linda.
Excellent. Well, good evening, everyone. My name's Linda from Milton Keynes, and my background's in administration. And it was some years ago that I had a really bad fall, and from that I developed osteoarthritis. Later on I went on to develop tendinitis and then migraines. And I used to spend my nights in hand splints taking painkillers. In the morning I'd wake up with my hands in the form of a fist. My fingers were so stiff I just couldn't open them, so I'd have to put them in the hot water tap so that I could make them more malleable. Anyway, after the first week of taking Reliv, I noticed a difference in my pain levels, and it started to abate slightly. I thought it was interesting. And by the end of the first month, I was almost pain-free. And that was major for me because I could hardly do anything. And now I can hold a full glass of water without pain. I can open most jam jars and bottle tops. My husband's pleasure, I can now do the ironing again. And I remember one day at work, I helped a colleague lift a 3-seater settee across a large area. It was quite a heavy settee. And it wasn't until I was putting it down, I thought, what am I doing? I'm going to be in hand splints, taking painkillers, etc. But actually I had no reaction whatsoever. And it was at that point I realized I got my life back. So as you can imagine, I'm always going to be taking these products.
Wow. That's a really powerful story, Linda. And it's amazing what your body can do when you give it really good nutrition. I mean, having those hand splints and all the pain that is associated with that, it's really, really powerful what the body can do. So thank you very much for sharing.
You're welcome.
I'm now going to go to the Midlands, to Birmingham, to Nagmana. So, Nagmana, if you'd like to come on the line and just share with everybody what's happened to you, please.
Hi, Jason. Hi, my name's Nagmana, and I live in Dudley, near Birmingham, and I'm a teacher. And as a teacher, I'm on my feet almost all of the day. And as such, I developed an inflammation in my right foot, the heel of my right foot, and it was so painful. I was suffering for this, for 2 years, and it was getting increasingly painful. Every time I'd stand from a sitting position, I'd have to sort of hover over, my toes or whatever for about 10 minutes until I could put my foot down. I was introduced to Reliv about 2.5 years ago, and not really taking it for the inflammation, but taking it just for good health. But to my amazement, 3 weeks down the line, and I noticed that that pain had gone. I jumped out of bed one morning and couldn't at first identify what was missing. And when I found out that it was the pain that was missing, I was absolutely ecstatic about it. And also, just to share with you quickly, my daughter's story as well. She developed an allergy to the cold weather. And after having taken the nutrition, she no longer has that allergy, whereas before I used to have to give her Piriton every single morning. So can you imagine how delighted I am with the nutrition, and I'm never going to give it up.
It's amazing sometimes when we don't go through those kind of things like with pains in the feet and allergies. Sometimes we can take a lot for granted, but for somebody who's been dealing with that on a daily basis, the results, that's life-changing. So thank you very much, Nagmana, for sharing that.
Thank you, Jason.
I'm going to stay in the Midlands now. I'm going to go to Coventry to Mary. Mary, would you like to come on the line and just share with everybody what's happened to you, please?
Hi, Jason.
Excellent, Mary.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mary.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Mary Cadman. I'm from Coventry. I work as a multilingual assistant. I introduced Reliv 3 years ago. The problem why I'm in this product, because I have blood sugar, which is diabetes, and high blood pressure. I'm in different type of medication every day, especially for my blood pressure, 6 type of medication. My diabetes, I'm taking insulin maybe 6 times a day, 20 units. And the diabetes, really, I was really suffering. I can't walk, I can't run, I can't go anywhere with the children. So I started taking the product. Since I started taking the product, within a few weeks of the taking of product, my diabetes is improving, and also my blood pressure. Now I'm in 2 type of medication on blood pressure, and I will tell you the news. With diabetes, I'm now taking just 1 injection a day, 24 hours a day, morning 1. For this reason, I will never stop taking Reliv. Reliv is part of our diet in this house.
Wow. Thank you, Mary, for sharing that. And what an amazing result to reduce your insulin by so much. That's a drastic reduction. And so, again, it's amazing what the body will do. So thank you very much for sharing that, Mary. Just like to just give a quick disclaimer. Reliv doesn't claim that our products will prevent or cure any specific condition. That's not what we're saying. However, what we do say is if you give your body the right level of nutrition, the right level of fuel, you'll be amazed at what your body can actually do through its own physiology. Now, because these products are so good, this is why we have such a strong business opportunity. Because if I give you a word picture for a moment, if you was the only person with a well and you was in the middle of a desert, you would be in a pretty strong position to be developing an income. Well, that's exactly what we have with these products. These are premium rate nutrition that allows a person's body to respond in the way that it was created to respond. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go and share the reality of what can happen to somebody who chooses Reliv as a vehicle to take back their finances. And so I'm going to go up to Harrow in London to Zinette. Zinette, would you like to just share with everybody what happened to you? Obviously, you had really good results on the product and you decided to join the business. Could you share what happened with you, please?
Yes. Hi, Jason, and good evening, everyone. My name is Zinette Said. I'm here in the Harrow area in the Middlesex, and I decided to join the business after attending the European conference in approximately about 4 years ago. And I just saw the bigger picture. I saw, I heard so many health testimonies, so many business testimonies, and I was just so excited that I came home and I borrowed my husband's credit card, and I actually master affiliated. And I knew that was the best place to be at because I wanted to make the, most out of getting to that level and plus helping a lot of people. And I knew that I wouldn't be able to keep quiet. In the first month, after tapping into the system that Reliv has, I earned a business builder's bonus of £150. And then my business went into the US. I reached a level of a 6-star director level, which just means that I've helped a lot of people get results on the products. And I'm having a really great time now, also teaching and training them. I've earned some bonuses, like a 3-star bonus, 3-star director bonus, and a top PGPV bonus for November 2015. I've earned my hotel accommodation to the conferences, to international conferences 2014 and 16, and also the European conference in 2016. My best month through all forms of income, and this is working part-time around my job, my family, and I have to mention my cat, is just over £1,000. And you know what, Jason, the thing that really closed me into the business was the Colloquies Foundation. It's truly an amazing, to be part of this company because this company truly believes in looking after people, and not only the customers and distributors, but also the poor people around the world. So I'm going to continue building so I can contribute more towards this beautiful cause.
Excellent. Well, Zinette, thank you very much for sharing your experience. And there's a lot more growth to happen, and we look forward to getting you back on this call to just hear what else has happened to you in the future. So thanks for sharing.
Thank you, Jason.
Okay, I'm going to stay down south. I'm going to go to Luton now, to Desi. Desi, would you like to come on the line and just share with everybody what's happened to you since you've been starting your business, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Jason, for having me as well. So, and it was because of the health results that we got that really gave us the excitement to really start to build, because then we came across a product that we could really believe in. And we were also very convinced by the evidence we saw in terms of, the business in itself. All of that impressed us. And our business began to grow organically. And that was, Jason, May 2010. So we're looking at 7 years ago almost. So that's quite some time ago for us. But today we're what's known as senior directors of Reliv. And all that means, again, is that we've just built our business to a certain level. Our business was able to grow into around 14 countries around the world. And that for us was amazing, because people know people know people. And as long as you look after those people, then everything else just tends to happen, in Reliv. And that's what's great about the model. And we really were able to kind of like build upon that, and then use the supportive system elements that help people take advantage of the business opportunity. As a result of that, my wife was able to retire from a 15-year corporate law career in February of 2011. So that wasn't that far after. And that was because what we were getting paid in Reliv basically eclipsed and matched what she was able to earn from a corporate standpoint part-time. So my wife hasn't been back to work since. She works from home, 30 seconds from her bed. And I do work, but it's a fantastic way of supplementing our family income. And that's why one of the reasons we would never stop building our business. And the other reason is because we just love seeing other people achieve positive results with Reliv.
Wow. Well, thanks for sharing that. Thanks, and I know that in your time you've been on multiple trips, and the company has treated you really well. So thank you for sharing.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. 12 in total.
Well, we look forward to getting you back on the line again later on and getting you to share again. So thanks for sharing.
Excellent. Thanks.
Okay, I'm going to go down to the Midlands now to Anne-Marie. Now, Anne-Marie, what's happened to you since you've been building your business?
Hi, Jason. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Anne-Marie.
Hi. Thank you for inviting me on the call. Hi, everyone. My name is Anne-Marie, and I live in Coventry, and my background is in community development. 4 years ago, my husband and I decided to look into the business because of the results the whole family got on the product. And we were amazed about the opportunity, the people we met in the meeting, and we decided to join the business on high profit level. And we plugged into the system and shared the opportunity with the people around us, those we love and care about. And some people joined us in the business, and we worked together as a team, and the business started to grow. And at that time, I was a full-time university student, and when I finished, I decided to do this around our young children. And we earned a couple of bonuses, the highest being £2,000, and also we traveled with this company internationally and national as well. To name a few, we went to Millionaires Weekend. We won a ticket for 2 adults and 2 children to Orlando, Florida, in the international conference. And we also went to Costa Rica. It was just unforgettable holiday. And our best month in all forms of income was just under £6,000. We love this opportunity, and we love helping people. We see everyday people, getting results on the product or started new business with us, and it's just incredible. And we will continue to build this legacy for our children.
Wow. Well, once again, Anne-Marie, thank you very much for sharing, and there's more to come. And just like I said with Zanette and Desi, we look forward to getting you back on this line again to share the other advancements that you are continuing to get. So thanks a lot for sharing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Well, guys, as with the health stories, the business stories that you just heard, that doesn't guarantee that their experience is going to be your experience. You see, their experience is as a result of their own personal efforts and commitment to themselves and their families. As with anything in life, you get out what you put in. This is a business opportunity that is designed to help change a person's life if that person wants to change and goes and does the activity. So now it's time for me to introduce you to our guest ambassador for the evening. And for those of you who are new on the call and you do not know what a Reliv ambassador is, a Reliv ambassador is just somebody who has helped a lot of people grow a really strong business for themselves and has been identified by the company as somebody who can represent the company with all integrity, demonstrating the values that the company stands for. And this lady that I'm going to introduce you to is what is known as a Presidential Double Platinum Ambassador with the company. She's one of the top checks in the company and has a wealth of experience in helping people. And she has a unique ability to really explain the reality of building a Reliv business. So you guys are going to be in for a treat. So it is my pleasure to welcome on the call, all the way from the US, Betty Wolf. So Betty, are you there?
I'm here. That's great.
Well, Betty, it's really good to have you on. It's really good that you took the time out to be on this call. And before I get into the questions that I want to ask you, Betty, could you just share with everybody what has happened to you in your Reliv journey, please?
Well, I took, we're going to talk about conference tonight, and actually it was really a conference that painted a big picture for me, just like I heard one of the business stories tonight. We were on the products for about 6 months before I recognized the business. I had never really met anyone in network marketing that made a lot of money, so I just had a lot of fear. My husband had been in upper management for 30 years, and he and the company president were not seeing eye to eye, and he knew he'd probably be without a job before long, and so he was very open to an opportunity. And he also got to the point where he didn't want to manage people anymore. He really wanted to build something on his own. And a friend introduced us to Reliv. We got great results on the products, during that 6 months before a conference, we heard a lot of great stories. And I have to say that it was truly the stories that motivated us to get to a conference, especially me. My husband could see this big picture, but I was sort of dragging my feet. But it was at a conference that I realized what we had a hold of had such an impact on my life that we made a business decision to be a master affiliate that weekend and to go home and build a business around these products. And I know that many that are new, we do have a business model that we call our system, and Bill and I began to implement that. We went to work with our sponsors, and I was probably maybe putting 7 hours a week into it, making an extra $800 to $1,000 a month just retailing. But because of our follow-up and our training, a lot of those customers became distributors, and we began to build an override check within a 6-month period between $3,000 and $6,000 a month. In 14 months' time, that check jumped to $10,000 a month. Our second year in our business, we were earning over $20,000 a month. The second year, another $10,000 a month. I mean, it just kept building. So our highest income in 1 month has been around $70,000 in a month. I share that just to kind of let people know that when we share that there's a business opportunity, we really mean it. It works, and the reason is because we have great products. My goal in the beginning was to make $100 a day. I took our business very seriously. I implemented all the aspects of our business model every day and went to work. We had a huge need because my husband did lose his job, and so we needed to get this up and going to support our family. It's been a real blessing in our life. I have to say that we've been on a lot of trips, just like Desi. There's people on the call that have earned trips with the company, and my husband and I were number one in the nation our third month of the business and earned a cruise. And within that 14 months, we earned another trip and a $5,000 bonus. I mean, the bonuses and everything that we've had opportunity is just huge. But I was looking to build an override check. I wanted that to be our main income. And that is taking your business seriously. And I was so blessed to hear everybody's story on this call because we've had such great results with these products. And I know that as they begin to focus on this business, they'll be able to do amazing things. And, you know, just like the sharing of the Clogris Foundation, you know, when you earn a lot, you get to give a lot. And that's been a real joy in our life, Jason. So that's our business story.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And obviously, with all the years' experience in the business, the wealth of knowledge that you have, what it takes to build this business, one of the most powerful tools that we know to build a Reliv business are live events. So what I want to focus on this evening is really how you use the live events, particularly conferences, to build your business.
You know, if it hadn't been for the conference, I really don't think we'd be in the business today. I had a lot of fear about network marketing. I knew that we had good products, but it was the conference that really spoke to my heart because I met people like you have on the phone tonight, but I met them face to face. And hearing them share from their heart what was going on in their life and how the business was meeting a need for their family, and they actually told me how much money they were making, gave me so much hope. So it was a conference that painted that picture for me. And we went home. And I want to share with everyone that that conference is probably one of the most important aspects of our system because it will truly move your business at least 6 months ahead. And I want to give you an example of what happened for us. We came into business August of 1994, and we went to a conference. That following February, there was a winter conference, and it was in San Francisco. Now, we live in the state of Michigan. I don't know if you know the map of what the United States looks like. That's kind of far, and it's very expensive to fly out there. And I remember my sponsor calling and saying, well, Betty, you're going to go to the conference. I said, well, no, I'm not going to go all the way out there. Too far. And I kept saying, my gosh, the airplane ticket alone, and, you know, I was giving every excuse you could think of. And the other excuse is, hey, you know, we're living off our assets. We're just building our business. I can't afford to pay for these airline tickets. But I remember my sponsor saying to me, Betty, leaders go to conference. I thought, oh, boy, okay. So my husband said, you're going to go. And I remember sitting there thinking, there is no way I'm going to fly all the way out there by myself. And I sponsored a few people, and And Joe was saying, I said, I really would like to take, he said, well, why don't you take some? I said, I'd love to take one of the master affiliates I sponsored. But now let me tell you the fear that I had in inviting her. First of all, she worked full-time. She was a human relations, she was a department head in the company my husband had been with. So she was putting in a lot of hours at that company. Here I'm going to invite her to go on this trip where she'd have to pay her own way. She'd have to take time off from work. You know, I kept having all these excuses. But I knew she'd be amazing in this business. So what we did, we called her that night. And I remember being so hesitant when I sponsored that we weren't going to go. But after the call, she called me back and said, are you going? And I'll never forget, I just said, you bet I am. And she came with me. And I have to tell you, I learned so much by experience, you know. You learn as you go, really. But I have to tell you what happened by taking her to that conference. And this was another reason why these conferences are so important. You know, just like I experienced an eye-opener, awakening, so to speak, of the opportunity at that conference I went to, the same thing happened to her. And she saw a big picture. I mean, she was a master affiliate already and getting a few people on the product, but she really did not realize what she had a hold of until she got to that conference. That was like in February that year. You know, when she got back, she was so excited that she called, you know, Betty, I'm going to quit my job at the end of the year. So Betty, I'm going to quit my job in, 6 months, 3 months. But she ended up quitting her job like within a couple of months. And within, let me ask Bill, how many months what did she earn, Bill, by the end of that year? Yeah, right. By the end of that year, she earned as much with Reliv as she was earning in a corporate salary. And she took off. And so that's how important the conferences are. And, that next summer, for a whole year, Bill and I ended up taking 57 people with us to that next conference. We sponsored a few people. We were pretty excited after coming home from that conference, and my friend got excited, and we just kept adding layers and layers of master affiliates. We had a total of 57 people that came to that conference with us. Now, you know what happened to her and to us at our first conference? You can imagine what will happen to 57 people. I always share that if they don't get excited after conference, then they're probably dead. But anyway, by the next conference, out of that 57 people, the next year we had 190 people. I did not go to 190 people. I sponsored a few, they sponsored a few, they sponsored a few. But I learned that the whole system of getting people in front of people and stories is the most important part of my business. Mine wasn't the issue, is that it was me getting them in front of people, and getting them to that conference was the most important part of my business. The third year when we went back, we had over 300 people at that conference. And I don't share with that, to share that, to brag or anything like that, but it's just, I want you all to understand how powerful those conferences are. You want to go, but you don't want to go by yourself. You want to take people with you. They will see a bigger picture, and they'll come home and they'll be on fire. And so I'm not kidding, guys. I built our business from conference to conference, from three-way to three-way, learning how to get stories in front of my friends. And so that's our story, Jason. I can't begin to share with people how important those conferences are. And I would work like crazy between now and when Bob Montgomery comes over there in the spring. You guys have a goal to set, and you're going to build towards that by going to your Tuesday night meetings, your Saturday trainings, your calls. You're just going to keep adding on and building towards that. And it'll be a huge, exciting conference for you guys.
Wow. I want to thank you, Betty. I mean, you just painted out the perfect picture. And for anybody who was confused about what it took to use these live events to build your business, I think you've made it very, very plain. And so I just want to thank you for taking the time out and sharing your experience with us. And no doubt we will definitely have you back on a later date to share some more of your nuggets, your gems of experience. So thanks a lot, Betty.
Okay, great.
Okay. So there you have it, guys. Another successful Reliv ambassador sharing the reality of her journey. every week we have a fresh perspective by different ambassadors of what it takes to build this business. We are in the industry of duplication. The path has already been laid down. All we have to do is follow it. So let me give you a couple of quick announcements before I close the call. We have UK Mat School coming up on the 25th and 26th of November here at the Sheraton in London, in the UK. The Friday night is an open event for everybody to attend, so you want to get as many of your guests as possible to that event. And the Saturday is the Mat School, which is a closed event. You have to qualify to get there. Remember what Betty said. Live events build your business. So you want to get as many people on that Friday night as possible. And if you're not qualified to get to Mat School, you've still got time to qualify. Yeah? And so we're getting trained by Caroline de Bourrier. She is a presidential bronze ambassador. She's one of the people that was instrumental in opening up France. So you want to hear the nuggets she's going to share with you. So you want to get there and don't miss out. So many people go to events and see the growth because of the event. So how many people are you going to get to this event? Yeah, how many people are you going to do? Are you going to sit back and just hear what happened to other people, or are you going to experience it yourself and then use that to grow your business? Only you can answer that question. We also are 1 month into the exciting sponsoring promotion. So why not get really to pay for your product and also earn bonus checks at the same time? Also, which one of your organization is going to get the top bonus check? You heard a couple of people say that they won the top bonus check. Well, there's a top bonus check of £2,000 a month that anybody can earn if they're going out and building the momentum. So which one of your team members are you going to help to earn that this month? Remember, the sum of the masses is far greater than the sum of the individual. So help your team to grow, and in helping them grow, you will grow. So here is a final thought for you. You may be on this call tonight and your financial position is not where you want it to be. Well, you need to get back to the person who invited you on the call to see how your situation can turn around. Or maybe you're employed by somebody and you're making very good money already. Well, the one thing that you need to understand is even though you may love your job, and there's nothing wrong with loving your job, but you will not own your job. You cannot pass your job on to your children. You're trading your time for somebody else's money. And for whatever reason you can't trade the time no more, the money stops. Well, you need to get back to the person who invited you on the call to see how working to build a Reliv business can not just affect you, but also affect generations to come. Or maybe you already run your own business. You're making extremely good money, but your business is actually running you and you haven't got the time to really enjoy it. Well, again, the person who invited you on the call can share with you the reality of what it takes to get your time back. You see, everybody needs these products. So whatever element of this call stood out to you the most, get back to that person who invited you on the call and they will show you how to move forward. Remember, every single one of us has got 24 hours in the day. Nobody's going to have any more than anyone else. And so our futures are going to be completely dependent on what we decide to do with our time. So with that said, the only thing left for me to say is welcome to Reliv International. So I'm going to unmute the lines now so everybody can say goodnight.